Sepoops, Bahasa Melayu is the national language of Malaysia, a fact that Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim emphasized just recently at the opening of Parliament.
Kalau ada yang tidak terima bahasa Melayu, lebih baik jangan duduk di Malaysia.
Patik Junjung Titah Tuanku. It's not super controversial. I mean, it is the national language, and if you've been living in Malaysia all this while, then there's no question about it. You probably should know it. But today I had a very interesting interaction with one of the great heroes of language and race. We were honored to be in the company of the most racist BM defender. Sepoops, right under the Malaysia Kini post, Sharul Rahman wrote, Type C Bangsa DAP Tolong Ambil Cakna Titah DYMM YDPA. And I'd be like, apa? Wow, truly amazing. We're talking about the national language, and this guy just casually goes out and immediately brings out the whole Type C thing. And if you don't know what Type C is, it's basically that slur created by the Darsa fried chicken sepoops, who may or may not be going bankrupt at this point as they hashtag solidarity themselves into fried chicken sales. You know, it's kind of wild because right when the Yang di-Pertuan Agong is trying to call for unity, you expect the national language to unite us all, and then here you have these kinds of people who, by the way, have support. It's not like he just posted it and then nobody went and supported him. No! How wild is that? I think it's clear to most of you out there that this isn't something that we can be normalizing. We cannot be allowing jokers like this to link Malay language usage to being racist in a way that some people like this guy as well seem to want to do. So do me a favor, go over to aduan.mcmc.gov.my and then register if you haven't already, log in, and you should be able to go right ahead and file a report really quickly. You can see right here that I have a whole lot of different cases right here, but this is the new one. I wrote a comment and there was even a whole mass reporting exercise which I got everyone on the Instagram feed to do, and people of every single race went right ahead and did exactly that. Although I couldn't take any screenshots of it, maybe he blocked me, I don't know. But it turns out that his Threads profile is actually still there, and you can see that the profile picture is exactly the same as what he had on Instagram. And here we are, the face of the man himself, casually hanging out with a whole bunch of people right here in his capacity of manager of Kopubi Perak Berhad. Truly fascinating, very incredible. But anyway, I was looking at what I should write and doing a little bit of research, and I realized that actually this guy is not a normal racist. I mean, his profile says that he's a businessman and entrepreneur, so I was curious to see what kind of business it is that he runs. So I looked into this Kopubi thing a little bit more and realized that okay, so it's a kind of like legit thing. There are events and everything like that. And it just made me wonder to myself, like, how many of the people who actually work there or are together with this organization actually know that that guy is just a massive racist? And like, more importantly, how many of this guy's clients who go to him because they want to plan out their estate know that the guy who is planning out their estate is casually sending out racist comments without thinking about the time, the place, or anything else out there? At first I was just thinking, wow, it's a successful person with a racist dark side. But then I looked into this a little bit more and I realized that it's quite a bit spicier than I thought. If this guy's been posting pictures of himself and the account on Threads is the same one that posted the comment, then it looks like we have a Malaysia Madani racist. Yes, that's right. There, our hero of race and religion is appearing in a Malaysia Madani graphic, and it shows right there that he's apparently the secretary of this thing called Angkasa, which is not really related to our National Space Agency. A mistake that I may or may not have made when I went and emailed Fahmi Fadzil and every single one of the committee members that this guy is on the same committee with. Again, if this is the correct person. How are my Malay skills, by the way? Hashtag national language bahasa kebangsaan.
But anyway, they replied me, but if there's no public statement, keep on making those reports please, cause this is quite serious.
Given what we see here, I just have to ask, does Malaysia Madani advocate this? Should a person like this, who is casually writing out racist comments, be representing the Madani government in any way, shape or form? This is not past, this is not PM, this is a legit member of our administration or somebody associated with the administration who is making statements like this. If you look at his wording again, he said Type C Bangsa DAP, which suggests that he's not only racist, but he also doesn't like another component party in the Madani government. The wild thing is that when I shared about this on YouTube, somebody, I'm not gonna say who, actually went out and told me this guy actually used to be a member of PKR. I don't know if he is right now.
Which I did find a little strange because
He posted this picture of him with Rafizi, which...
you can interpret the caption for yourself.
And it also seems like he doesn't like Anwar Ibrahim, which is like,
He doesn't seem to like Anwar, he doesn't seem to like Rafizi, he posts about that publicly. Does he like anyone?
And it makes me wonder how such a person, who is like a duri dalam daging, should be going on and representing the Madani government. Anyway, Madani, I think that you'll need to respond. You've probably all seen the MCMC reports. There's not just one by me at this point, there are at least 10 from different people, different times, different places, and if you want to add on to that, it takes 10 minutes to make an MCMC report, so go ahead and do that. Now, some of you might feel bad about reporting this guy, be thinking, oh, how could we report somebody like this? How could we destroy his reputation? No! It's not something I enjoy, to go out there and just casually wreck somebody's life like this, but it's one of those things that needs to be done, because if we don't do this, if I didn't tell you all about this, then this kind of behavior is going to repeat over and over again. But you know, we could equally ask the question, if you don't want your reputation to be destroyed, then why would you write a comment like that? What, you think you're like a hero? You can go ahead and just say anything that you want, even though you technically have a high position, and nobody is going to notice? No! Come on. Like, this is exactly the situation where everybody would notice. This is exactly the situation where everybody would make it so that somebody in your position, in your place, will not be able to pull this kind of nonsense again. Bahasa kebangsaan tu bukannya sesuatu yang harus dipolitikkan. Titah Agong tu bukan sesuatu yang boleh diperlekehkan. Kau faham tak? Kalau nak borak pasal jati diri, kalau kau racist kat orang Cina panggil Type C, Cina Bukit bagai, kau ingat sedap terpaling jati diri If all you can do is just talk about Type C Bangsa DAP because you want people to learn your language, I have to wonder, like, how sustainable of a strategy is that? The whole point of learning a language, using a language, is to communicate with people. Does being racist, complaining about how other people don't use your language, make it so that everybody wants to talk to you? Because as far as I know, people in Japan and Korea don't force you to learn Japanese or Korean, but yet people go out and learn all of that stuff because they love their Jujutsu Kaisen and BTS. People learn those languages because they are cool and because there's something of value, not because people are complaining. Now, I'm not saying that our Malay brothers and sisters are not inviting. I'm not saying that you have nothing of value in your culture. But I'm just saying that, again, batik, junjun, titah, tuanku, we can respect the fact that Malay is the national language of Malaysia. But whether or not we're going to use the language is really dependent on whether you are actually offering something of value that we can't get anywhere else apart from speaking with you in Malay, which we do with our friends, with the people that we see on a day-to-day basis. Because we like them, we honor them, we cherish their identity.
Oh, but I have the freedom to use whatever language I want on my channel. I'll use BM in situations where it's necessary, but if you try to guilt trip me into using BM, I will block you from the channel.
It's a good thing to make sure that people in Malaysia can speak Malay. Nothing controversial about that. But I don't think that having Malay language defenders like this, who are going out casually demonstrating racism to their fellow citizens of Malaysia, is acceptable. It never was acceptable, and it's not acceptable, and it will not be acceptable in the future.
Also, the point of speaking a language is to communicate. Do you really want to communicate with people who only know racism and only know how to complain?
So, Sapoops, whenever you see this kind of behavior in the future, take your screenshots, make your reports. It doesn't matter what race you are, Cina ke, Melayu ke, Indian, Kadazan, Murut, whatever. We live in a very diverse country, and to protect that diversity, we especially need to make sure that our leaders in society, like Sharul, don't get a free pass to do what he chose to do today. Alright, and that's about it. See ya.